Hello. Hi, everybody. How y'all feeling today? You're excited for this one? This one's been on the radar for a while. I've had this one in my back pocket for quite a bit of time. Yeah, I'm excited for it too. Noah Kahan, huh? Huh. Well, I'm a little late to the party. Yeah, I'm pretty late to the party. I remember when this album came out, people were like, Jim, you have to react to this album. This is the one to do. And now, 3 years later, here I am. Right on time. Well, let's talk about it here for a second, because Noah Kahan is actually from my neck of the woods. He's a New Englander. He's from Vermont, I believe, and I did a bit of research on what the hell sixth season means, and apparently it's a time of the year that old people used to call it, like the beginning of fall. It's such a fall album. Well, here we are on the crisp of summer, sunshine days, and we're going to do it now. But other than that, I know nothing about this guy. I don't really have no idea. All I know is a lot of people have been saying for a while now, react to this album. It's right up your alley. So we're going to find out right now.
Breathing in, breathing out. How you been? You settled down. You feeling right? You feeling proud? How are your kids? Where are they now? You build a boat. You build a life. You lose your friends. You lose your wife. You settle in to routine.
I'll turn it up a little bit.
Does it mean?
Oh, it's sneaky, huh? All right. Okay.
Bought some shit, search online, you're getting lost, you're getting high, all alone, late in life, scared to live, scared to die. You build a boat, you build a life, you lose your kids, you lose your wife. You settle down, you're feeling lost, you're getting stoned and kicking rocks. Forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised out in the cold. If the sun don't shine till the summertime, forgive my northern attitude. Oh, I was raised on little light.
What an introduction here. This album's a love letter to New England. Okay, all right. Let's talk about it here for a second. First, let's just comment on his voice, because I don't think I've ever heard a Noah Kahan song before, so I wasn't sure what to expect with his voice. I don't know why I was expecting like that whispery, quiet kind of thing. Maybe it's because I just did Gracie Abrams and I had that in the mind. But this was it was pretty cool. He actually shows some real expression. He has a natural rasp. He does some really interesting fills with his voice, I guess you could call it. It kind of has like a twang to it, but it's not really. It's like a northern yodel, if you will. I guess you could call it that. It has like the essence of like what you would consider like a southern accent, but up here in the north. I don't know exactly how to describe it. There is a sense of desperation to his voice. There is a sense of longing. There is a certain intensity to the sonic fidelity of this as things begin. A little deceiving at first, you know, we think we're going to open up in this quiet little, hey, how you doing? But things slowly build and get bigger. And have some actual oomph to them as well, without actually overpowering any of the more delicate instruments like the acoustic guitar. Very cool, nice little balance there. Let's talk about the New England thing. This is awesome. All right, this is cool. I get to like talk about things from like kind of like my neck of the woods and everything. Yeah. So all right, so we have if you're not from this area, we have a little. People make fun of us for usually that Boston accent that I think some of us have. I don't think I really have it. I never really got that thick Boston accent, but especially here in Massachusetts and in New England, like. You know, as massholes, people think that we're kind of short, that we're kind of mean to people. But in reality, we're really not. You know, we will keep in our own lane. Like, we won't look you in the eye. We are not going to nod our hat and say hello and ask you how the kids are and all that stuff to strangers. Like, if you're at a bus stop or any kind of public setting or anything, we're going to be a little to ourselves, all right? We're going to be kind of in our own little worlds to a degree. However, if you need help, if you're in a position where like putting something heavy into your car, if you're broken down, if like you're trying to carry something around a corner and you just can't quite do it, more often than not, one of us will stop to actually help you out. It's funny, I was reading a subreddit on this about Massachusetts and people in New England. We're not perceived as nice people, but we'll actually help out when push comes to shove. Whereas sometimes out west and down south and everything, they have more of that southern charm, you know, that southern hospitality. But from what I was reading, I guess a lot of it is very, you know, it's kind of it's thin. So I know that sometimes our attitudes can seem a little sharp, but we're direct. We get to the point, you know. We're like the people of Finland, you know. We're nice as hell. We'll help you out and everything, but like we're a little in our own world, you know. Let me just go quickly through some of these lyrics because this was a hell of a handshake. It was a hell of a, hey, nice to meet you. This is me. The first and the last track on the albums are some of my favorites. The first track needs to be that olive branch, that handshake, that this is me, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm from, and this is kind of the beginning of where we're going. The last track is supposed to, you know, encompass the whole thing and touch on the themes throughout the album. But more often than not, I find first tracks in albums to be, yeah, sometimes it's just like a little intro, it's a little loop thing or whatever, which is fine, but this felt like a proper, hey, how you doing? This is me, this is what's going on. And he almost like even like frames it from the position of building your life to lose it all. Like it feels like not only a handshake, but it feels almost like a full circle moment here. You know, like I feel like to a degree, it's like he's telling a story about building this thing, you know, trying to better himself and then losing it all and then kind of being lost in the essence of just life, kicking rocks and getting stoned and being in a place where you're not exactly certain where you should be and then meeting somebody else. So to me, it frames as a man who has been hurt, but a man who is also still trying to live his life, but he's a little confused as to where to go. He captures being from a small town, both thankful and spiteful. Okay. Well, that's cool. I grew up south of Boston in a smaller town. I know he's out from Vermont, and Vermont's cool. Vermont is beautiful. You guys never been. It's sparse. It's a lot of driving to get to one small little town and then driving to get to another little town. Whereas around here, I can be in Boston in about 45 minutes, in Providence in a half hour. There's definitely a story about being left behind in your hometown. Interesting. All right, maybe a sense of abandonment. Great little opening track here. Let's see where he goes to the next one.
As you promised me that I was more than all the miles combined, you must have had yourself a change of heart like halfway through the drive, because your voice trailed off exactly as you passed my exit sign. Kept on driving straight and left our future to the right. Now I am stuck between my anger and the blame that I can't face. And memories or something even smoking weed is not replaced. And I am terrified of weather, cause I see you when it rains.
That's twice he's mentioned weed.
Doc told me to travel, but there's COVID on the planes. And I love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tire tracks in one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half, but that'll have to do.
Clever. Okay.
So I thought that if I piled something good and all my bad, that I could cancel out the darkness I inherited from Dad. No, I am no longer funny, cause I missed the way you laughed. You once called me forever, now you still can't call me back. And I love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tire tracks in one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half, but that'll have to do. Oh, that'll have to do. My other half was you.
I thought it was pretty clever, Tim.
But I doubt it. And I love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. And it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tire tracks in one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half. That'll have to do, have to do.
See, this melody seems familiar, so I'm assuming this was one of the singles on the radio or something. Never once paid attention or listened to the lyrics. I just listened to the melody and probably, if I remember correctly, noting some interesting accent on his voice, but that's about it. I never really thought too much about it, especially being such a shorter track here. Yeah, I see what you're talking about with that comment about being kind of left behind. So it sounds like he's left behind in his small hometown. Sounds like he's from like a fairly rural place out in Vermont there. There's a couple cues to that. He talks about driving and the distance between that. He talks about people not coming home for Christmas and about him wanting to travel, but it's during COVID. I know this album came out in 2022, so maybe this was written around the time of COVID. And this is what really kind of gets me. So there's this sense of like isolation to all of this, but still being like kind of trapped in this place that has brought you some kind of trauma because you see your friends moving on. And there's also a love of his life that has moved on as well, that he's still dreaming about. And he's now half the person because of it. And he's reminded, because he lives in a small town, the mother of his ex just doesn't even remember who he is. And obviously this girl is still living fresh in his mind because he's half the person and he's just living with the half that he is right now. Once again, he also talks about substance. We're talking about alcohol and marijuana. So I think he's using that as some sort of coping mechanism for isolation here, if I had to guess. And then also some family trauma here as well. I couldn't cancel out the darkness that I inherited from my dad, so possibly some essences of depression. I saw somebody in chat said seasonal depression a little earlier on, so maybe that's what you were talking about. Might not have to, but I did not lose. Now you're the tire tracks, one pair of shoes. Very creative writing here. This is actually pretty poetic. Sometimes I do album reactions and I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to find things that I find admirable or whatever, and I just kind of move on to the next thing. But I feel like there might be layers to this guy. Yeah, I think he's having some issues with substances, some issues with depression and isolation, and it feels like the world is moving on without him. And he's just kind of like sitting and waiting. He's in limbo in a place that is causing him trauma and just waiting for Christmas to come along so everybody comes home and sees him again. It's kind of sad, actually. But I mean, it's got an upswing melody and beat to it. So it has that contrast of it being something like a chill backyard barbecue type of song, but he's talking about something fairly melancholic. He's from Stanford, Vermont. I don't think there's even 2,000 people in that town. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that definitely explains it. So he's 100% running into his neighbors and just like the post office and everything. Substance abuse and themes for sure. Yeah, I'm getting that. I get it. I understand. It sucks when people move on without you, you know, when other things happen and you're kind of stuck in the same place and you're just watching the world go by and you're just kind of there and you're just kind of waiting for them to come back and share their great wild stories of the world they've traveled, and you're just kind of living in that one place. You know, I've been that person living in that place. I've been that person that's traveled, and I've seen it from both angles. And there's loneliness in both angles, honestly.
How have things been? Well, love, now that you mention it. My folks still talk, but they speak in these two-word sentences. I'm saying too much, but you know how it gets out here. No winter cold could keep out all the cold of your atmosphere. We once sang retrograde, we'd shake the frame of your car. Now I know your name, but not who you are. It's all okay.
I love his voice.
Of bad blood, it's all my love. You got all my.
I know we're moving on, but there's some interesting variants happening here vocally. Okay, very, very cool. So I already knew that I liked his tone, but he's definitely showing some interesting inflections and variants.
Now I know your name, but not who you are.
Great projection.
It's all okay, there ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my
Slipping that falsetto.
You got all my love. I'm still out here with the pills and the dogs. If you need me, dear, I'm the same as I was. It's all okay, there ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my love.
All in the same breath, too.
All my love. You got all my love. Write me a list of how it is, of how it was, of how it has to be. Burrowed in under my skin, what I'd give to have you out from me. But I still recall how the leather in your car feels. And at the end of it all, I just hope that your scars heal.
It's a very specific detail.
We once sang retrograde, we'd shake the frame of your car. Now I know your name, but not who you are. It's all okay, there ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my love, you got all my love. I'm still out here with the pills and the dogs. If you need me, dear, I'm the same as I was. It's all okay, there ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my love, you got all my love. You got all my love. Well, I leaned in for a kiss 30 feet from where your parents slept. And I looked so confident, babe, I swear I was scared to death. My hands gripped the wheel, I smiled stupid the whole way home. Well, those 5 words in my head, you said I'll never let you go. I sang retrograde, we'd shake the frame of your car. Now I know your name, but not who you are. It's all okay, there ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my love, you got all my love. And it's still out here with the pills and the dogs. Until this year stole the words from all okay. There ain't a drop of bad blood. It's all my love. You got 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 all my love.
Okay, well, the first thing I noticed sonically is there is a real sense of urgency to this. It almost feels almost schizophrenic in its approach to just how the melody loops and everything. Good layering between the guitar and what sounds like almost like a steel guitar slide, possibly a banjo, probably a steel guitar. Again, this feels like a letter. It's kind of like he's like letting us in. I do enjoy his like approach to how he writes music from a lyric standpoint. It's very story driven. And to me, I guess how this reads is like him when he was young. I don't know how old he is right now. This dude could be, oh, there's a picture of him right there. I don't know, he looks like he's in his 20s. So maybe he's talking about, if I had to guess, I think he would be talking about a girl that he was dating in high school or something. And knowing her then and now just knowing her name and now not knowing who she is, which is a weird thing, but it happens to all of us. Like there's people that we have like such deep seated emotional connections with that all of a sudden one day are strangers to us. You know, and sometimes we think about them. We think about, you know, what we thought was going to happen with us and where we thought we were going to be. And like we know their name, but we have no idea who they are anymore. And that's just something that becomes more and more common the older that you get. He also, again, mentions a theme of isolation. I'm still out here with the pills and the dogs. I don't know if he's talking about pills from a perspective of drugs or whatever, getting high. I think he's talking about pills as possibly maybe like pills to help him deal with some of the depression issues. It doesn't seem like he's using it in the sense that he was talking about alcohol and weed as like the coping mechanism. He's just kind of like saying, I'm just still kind of here stuck with it and stuck with the dog. That's something I resonate with quite a bit. You know, oftentimes when I work on this stuff for weeks at a time, it's just me home alone. My wife is at work and I'm just with the dog and it's very isolating and it's just me by myself and just trying to organize my thoughts and everything. And after a couple of days of doing that and not really having conversations with people and just being in your own head, it does become pretty taxing. So I think he's just dealing with that to a much wider extreme, you know, being out in such a desolate area. But the sweet angle of all this too is like, even though he doesn't know who this person is anymore, like he still like, wants nothing but love for them. And I think it's interesting how he talks a lot about a vehicle in this song as well. I still remember the feel of the leather in your car. He talks about shaking the frame. And I did see your comment saying, what was it? Saying that we shake the frame of your car instead of we were dancing chef's kiss. See, I read that as like shaking the frame of the car as like he was just out there. They were having sex in the car. You know, the car was just shaking. Maybe you saw that as him dancing on it or whatever. But so yeah, he had a very intense experience with this person. He remembers details that are brought to life through leather in the car and the frames shaking and everything. I need to know what his beef is with dogs. Half joking mentions them passing in multiple songs. Oh, he's a dog man? Oh, there's a dog right there in the picture. There's no beef with dogs. Dogs are awesome. Even though I was talking about, it's going to be a sense of loneliness. You know, dogs are great and everything, but like when you don't speak for a while and you're just thinking and you're just kind of like talking to a dog, like you start to go kind of crazy. You know, you do that for a few days at a time and all of a sudden you're reminded of how isolating it is because you start talking to them as if they're going to talk back to you. But yeah, this was great though. I found it sweet. I think this is him reminiscing of a young love. And he also talks about kissing her 30 feet from where she slept. So leads me to believe it's when they were younger and she was living with her parents and he was nervous, but he's trying to act cool and everything. And the whole thing seems very like authentic too. How he like builds the world and everything, I do find charming and authentic because it just reminds me of myself, you know, trying to be cool, calm and collected with a girl when I was younger. And in reality, I'm like, I'm going to fuck this up. And I often did. He's the male version of Taylor Swift. Whoa. Let's not go that far just yet. We're 3 songs into this album. That's high praise, but that is a wild comment. I don't know. The male version of Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift has like 11 albums of pure poetry. We'll see. Let's continue.
Oh, there was heaven in your eyes. I was not baptized. Everything's alright when she calls me back. Lost for a long time. 2 parallel lines. Everything's alright when she calls me back.
This is pop.
Look at me
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
I could be your sacrifice, but don't you hold your head up high. For bullshit, I do not have time. I could be an old tattoo to remind me when I get bad news that I do not exist to die, but live to die while saving you. There's a bite at your edges, you lie awake restless. Why am I so obsessive, hanging on to every sentence? This town's the same as you left it. Your page was blank, but I read it. I still dial 822993167. Oh, there was heaven in your eyes.
Has anybody tried calling that number?
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Yeah, I don't know why he's called that number.
Everything's alright when she calls me back. She calls me back. Lost for a long time.
Well, hold on a second. He was smart. He left off the last digit. I don't know, because it can really only be 10 digits. So we could go through every single one of those digits and get whoever the hell he's talking about, if we really wanted to get to the bottom of it. You don't have to try too hard.
Everything's alright when she calls me back. She calls me back. The radio is taunting me. Every song a minor key, and I don't get much sleep most nights. I'm seeing you in every dream. If only I could wake you up. If only I could fall asleep. I love you when the ocean's dry. I love you when the rivers freeze. There's a bite at your edges, to lie awake restless. Why am I so obsessive, hanging on to every sentence? This town's the same as you left it. Your page was blank, but I read it. I still dial 822993167. Oh, there was heaven in your eyes. I was not baptized. Everything's
No, the touch of the organ's nice, but he said he's not baptized.
calls me back. She calls me back. Lost for a long time. Two parallel lines. Everything's alright when she calls me back. She calls me back. She calls me back. Oh, the pain I should have saved, though I was too afraid of living life in your footsteps. In your heart, open your way. Oh, I was too afraid of living life in your footsteps. Living life in your footsteps. Living life in your footsteps. Still she calls me back. Still she calls me.
Okay, we got a bit of a sonic switch up here, a little bit more layering, a little bit more to work with. It's hard to dissect what's happening with a folk album most of the time because it's fairly minimalistic. There's cool muted pluckings and other things you can talk about, but at least in this one, there's some interesting beat mapping. The layering of the organ's cool. The guitar had a really interesting effect to it as well. It had a kind of really interesting jazzy, almost like bluesy approach to it, but the drive was punched up a little bit, which is cool. And obviously this guy's got a thing with like people blowing him off and this like sense of abandonment. So far, everything we've learned about him and his life and where he's at and seeing the world work around him, people moving past him and discrediting him, but having somebody call you back is going to be a huge deal. You know, especially since he mentioned before that, you know, he used to say forever, but now you won't even call me back. Like, this is obviously a huge thing. I guess if I had to guess, you know, people probably moved on and went to college and got jobs in other parts of the country where there's more work. And you just kind of move on from those small towns, you know, unless you are on a farm or you have a business right there or something. Like, I get it. You move where the work is. But obviously, it seemed like this guy is a musician. And when you're a musician, until you start getting a following and start making money, it's very hard to move, to tour, to, you know, afford anything. You know, it's crazy, man. I mean, I've known big people that have had music, you know, their songs, and they worked at Walmart at the same time. They slept in rehearsal studios because they couldn't afford rent. Their car would break down and they would just leave that car. That car just lives there now. I don't know if that car ever got out of that city. It's like, it's the reality of being a musician is like it's a shoestring budget. So that is also, and then just getting out of a small town in itself would probably be difficult. You know, as cool as the song seems to be, like, I feel kind of sad for him. I feel bad because he's essentially kind of like just giving it all up. He's like, I can be anything for you. I don't mind living in your shadows. And I just need like that small amount of attention to keep me going on. Yeah, I hear about it all the time about like just dudes like struggling, you know, like just not getting any compliments. And like when one person says something nice to them, like they live off of that compliment for years. I would imagine it's probably the same for women too. Maybe it's just people.
I'm in the business of losing your
Come over.
interest, and I turn a profit each time that we speak. Don't you know there's a coffin buried under the garden? Was there when we got here, be there when we leave. And my house was designed to kinda look like it's crying. The eyes are the windows, the garage is the mouse. When they mention the sad kid in the sad house on Balch Street, you won't have to guess who they're speaking about. Come over.
Okay.
Come over.
What the fuck?
I'm in the process of clearing out cobwebs. I was taking the wrong meds. Feels good to be sad, and my house is just barely big enough for my family, but it feels like a fortress when the weather gets bad. And my mouth was designed for my foot to fit in it. Oh, the words, they went missing when the stock market crashed and the Dow Jones keeps falling. But I promise you, darling, with the view in the morning, you won't ever go back. Come over. Come over.
I really like his voice.
Come over.
This is so unique.
Come over. I know that it ain't much. I know that it ain't cool. Oh, you don't have to tell the other kids at school. My dad'll straight get rich, will be the big house on the block. Someday I'm gonna be somebody people want. But I'm in the business of losing your interest, and I turn a profit each time that we speak. Don't you know there's a coffin buried under the garden? Was there when we got here, we'll be there when we leave.
Okay, I've got a new favorite on this album. It's this track, hands down. Yeah, this one is devastating. I wasn't sure where he was going from, like what perspective he was singing in or what time he was singing about when he was talking about the Dow and everything crashing and everything. I'm assuming he's talking about the 2008 financial crash. That might be in line with him being young and looking at his house as a character and everything and how a child thinks. Yeah, I guess maybe this is a whole story about his life. Not just like one instance of being an adult with people moving on, but like how he just has approached his entire life and where it kind of led him. It's kind of insane. And just like that feeling of like wanting your friends to come over and like the excitement of like a sleepover and those things that maybe we took for granted as children, maybe it was more difficult for him. Maybe he was a bit more of an outsider or something. It's interesting how he talks about his house as a character though. I love this line here too. And my mouth was designed for my foot to fit in it. I think that's what he's talking about. I think he's talking about like what seems like the world crashing around him, which I would imagine is the 2008 housing crisis, him still seeing his house as his fortress, where like obviously that doesn't matter to a child. I think that's what's happening here. This is devastating here. You don't have to tell the other kids at school. You remember that? Remember that when we were like fucking dumb ass kids? You had like the kids that weren't as popular and like the other people wouldn't want to associate with them because you lose some sort of credit or whatever with other people. Kids are fucking mean, dude. Again, I've been on both angles. I've been the not so popular kid and the popular kid within the frame of a couple years. This feels like it's coming from the thoughts of a child. I'm in the business of losing your interest. I could be completely wrong on that, but this is just kind of how I read it. And him soulfully telling people, just please come over and see the beauty in what he sees, even though he knows it's the saddest house in the town or whatever. There's a desperation, there's a sadness, there's a beauty in his voice and the way that he like emphasizes what he's saying and just has the run off it too. It's heartbreaking. But I think the main emphasis of it is him not being able to hold interest with people. Why do I always like the sad ones? Why do I always like the ones that songs that like emotionally cripple you are always my favorite song. And I would imagine that's this song on this album. Come Over. That's gonna be hard to listen to it again. New perspective.
Oh, silence is making me nostalgic. 2 sizes big, you shared in my apartment. Oh, we were kids, but that don't make this less hard. If I could fly, I doubt I'd even do it. I'd probably get high and crash into something stupid. You made Ohio feel just like Central Park. Liberal rednecks get drunk on a dirt road. Attention deficit kids in their gym clothes.
Okay.
Paper bags drift wherever the wind blows, and mine's full of receipts. Ooh, this town's for the record now. The intersection got a target, and they're calling it downtown. You and all of your new perspective now. Wish I could shut it in a closet and drag you back down.
There's fantastic melody on this album too. It's minimal, but it's perfect.
Gave me your word and now I can't pronounce it. No thing so sure that I can't learn to doubt it. Now the state bird, it sings our song so out of key. Liberal rednecks get drunk on a dirt road. Attention deficit kids in their gym clothes.
There's so many little details here that I want to talk about, but I don't want to keep starting and stopping this song. And then sometimes I don't remember it all by the time the song is over. But like just even like this part right here, the liberal rednecks getting drunk on a dirt road, attention deficit kids in their gym clothes. One, that, yeah, I could talk about that for a while. But two, what he's trying to do right here is talk about like rednecks and like in the essence of how country music is approached. The layering on his voice right now, that doubling up of what he's doing is something that's very... that's something that happens very often in country music. It's kind of like a cheesy trope. It's done just as often, if not more, than a twang on a fucking guitar. I think there's like a lot of like little details in this. It can't just be a coincidence.
Bags drift wherever the wind blows, and mine's full of receipts. Ooh, this town's for the record now. Intersection got a target, and they're calling it downtown. You and all of your new perspective now. Wish I could shut it in a closet and drag you back down. And drag you back down.
I love you can hear the scratch in the strings too.
Rednecks get drunk on a dirt road. Attention deficit kids in their gym clothes. Paper bags drift wherever the wind blows. and mine's full of receipts. Ooh, this town's for the record now. The intersection got a target, and they're calling it downtown. You and all of your new perspectives now. Wish I could shut it in a closet and drag you back down. And drag you back down. And drag you back down.
What's that hum? There are instruments on this that I don't know what they are or where they're coming from. I'm gonna have to see a lot of this live. It's kind of, I thought going into this would be kind of a breeze, especially with folk music. It's usually pretty straightforward and pretty minimal, but there's some weird sound design things happening here that I just want to kind of see live. Like the tail end of a bar of an accordion fuzz in the background for highlighting a melody. And the melodies are fantastic on this too. Very unexpected. This is actually kind of surprising. All right, we're in a different perspective now. All right, I think even though he talks about like childlike things up here, talking about being a kid or something, he's talking about the perspective of seeing his town change and what comes along with it. This is super Americana, man. It really is. Getting excited when those like big department stores open up in your town until you realize it's all fucking trash anyway. First off, there's nothing for Target at Men, all right? There's nothing there. There's nothing there for me. Every single time I get dragged into a Target, I'm like, there's nothing here that I want. And Target's going down anyway now, too. Fuck Target. I'm not a Target fan at all. I'm not a Walmart fan and not an Amazon fan. And that's what it is, man. That's what it kind of feels like. It's like the industrialization of the small town America. And it happens to all of our towns. The big news when you get one of those giant department stores that come through and crush every other business and you can't compete. They shouldn't be allowed. We just shouldn't allow that kind of shit here. I understand the convenience of it all, but like, is there anything in Target you really want or need? No, there's nothing. I mean, probably. There's always like a bunch of people in there. But like, whenever I go in there, I'm like, all right, cool, there's a Starbucks here. I guess I got a coffee or something. Their clothes are ridiculous. Men's clothing in Target is the stupidest shit ever. It's all scratchy and whatnot. And then like, just like graphic tees and like shitty pants. He also talks about going on some kind of trip and going out to Ohio and like how grand Ohio feels, like Central Park, when, you know, it's just because he's been in such a small place for a while. It's very sarcastic. It's dripping with sarcasm. You know, and I kind of had a feeling this was going to have like that, you know, like the newer, trendier folk music that comes out that's just like soaked, it's just bathing in like delay and reverb. Like the Lumineers do it. There's a bunch of like new trendier folk music that comes out and it's kind of cool. It's very spacey and everything. I like that it's not quite like that. And that's why I was wondering like what that accordion sound was, because it's adding like space and everything to this, but without being just sounding like it's coming from like this massive building. Like it still sounds personal. Liberal rednecks get drunk on a dirt road, attention deficit kids in their gym. This is the most Americana thing ever. At least in this area. Yeah, Massachusetts and Vermont and all that stuff, we tend to be pretty blue. Although in my area, for whatever reason, I'm surrounded by fucking Republicans. They're everywhere here. You think I'd be like in the thick of like, you know, progressive nation or whatever. And I feel like I'm the only fucking one. We were all on ADD medication. Yeah, that was a thing for a while. I wonder if it's still a thing. I wonder if kids are still like force-fed like Adderall. It was a big thing when I was younger. I think what he saw his house and his town was as a child was the last one. And this is him kind of seeing the industrialization of his town. As an adult, that's what I get. We're not even safe in Canada. Trump stickers and cars is wild. You're from Canada. First off, can I just say I'm sorry? I'm sorry. Not all Americans want to fucking try and buy you. Oh my God. I would imagine like being a Canadian is like living in the same apartment complex with like a crazy ass fucking neighbor. You know, like we're just like down here and you're up there, you know, you get your family, everything's all nice and kosher, you're getting by and everything, and we're just down here fucking cooking meth. And like every once in a while you come down and be like, hey, knock on the door, like very nice and politely, like, hey, would you mind just like not cooking so much meth around my children? And we pull a gun on you, like, fuck you. Then one day we just like go up to your apartment, we knock on it, we're like, oh hey, by the way, I now own your apartment. And you're like, no, the building owns the apartment, I pay my rent here. And then for some reason we decide to go out and try to buy the apartment complex, but we have no fucking money. Our kids are fucking playing outside. They're just living out there. And we're like putting the whole apartment complex on a fucking Discover card. It's crazy. We live in a crazy ass world, guys. It's fucking nuts. Moving on. Everything Everywhere.
It's been a long year. Would we survive in a horror movie? Doubt it, we're too slow moving. We trust everyone we meet. Two bodies riddled with scars from our preteens, intertwined in a car's dirty backseat. Stare at a driving screen. We didn't know that the sun was collapsing till the seas rose and the buildings came crashing. We cried, oh, everywhere, everything. Wanna love you, to food for the worms to eat, till our fingers decompose. Keep my hand in yours. Everywhere, everything. Wanna love you, to food for the worms to eat, till our fingers decompose.
So it's a love song.
Drive slowly, I know every route in this county. Maybe that ain't such a bad thing. I'll tell you where not to speed. It's been a long year and all of our books pages dog-eared. We write out the ends on our palms, dear, then forget to read. We didn't know that the sun was collapsing till the seas rose and the buildings came crashing. We cried, oh, everywhere, everything. Wanna love you, to food for the worms to eat, till our fingers decompose. Keep my hand in yours. Everywhere, everything. Wanna love you, to food for the worms to eat, till our fingers decompose. Keep my hand in fingers decompose. I'll keep my hand in yours.
Okay, another beautiful love song that reminds you of your own mortality. Kind of strange in that aspect of it, but it also, I don't know, it drives something home, you know? It's a more intense way than saying, oh, I'll love you forever, or I'll love you till the end. A lot of this is world building. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of it's like talking about the town, the house, what roads go down to, you know, like knowing the county, like the area is almost a character in itself, which is kind of cool. Great vocals, again, awesome layering, and again, I was not expecting for this sort of like derivative melodic elements in a folk album, but it's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm so glad that it's not just like a cop out. The decay goes on forever, you know? I'm glad that like there's some really cool like atmospheric compression in this that like actually adds to space and feels normal. Doesn't feel like so modular or synthetic in a way where like it takes you out of the immersion. There's a lot of like themes of like end of the world or the end of the line here. So it's talking about death and destruction, but like highlighted with like an essence of love, which is kind of cool. Oh, there's a version with Gracie. Really? Him and Gracie are friends? Gracie's an interesting character. First album was interesting, you know, very folksy and everything, but pretty modular, you know, pretty across the board, kind of one thing. I mean, she's talking about some heavy stuff and very introspective and very honest, as is this. I guess honesty is also a great way to describe what this is. There's no like making anything seem cool. I mean, it's almost like it feels like he's kind of coming down on himself a little too hard, but they do a collab. That's cool. You think it's because, oh, this whole album was written during COVID. Oh, that puts a different spin on the whole thing. I kind of had that theory when he was talking about the COVID line in the plane before, but I didn't know if this was a collection of songs that he's just had forever. Okay, next one is called Orange Juice. I got a love-hate relationship with orange juice. I've had some great orange juice, but every once in a while I have orange juice and I'm like, this is not it. This is not the stuff. I think like my taste buds just change like year to year, whether I like orange juice or not. I can never tell. Fresh squeezed, yeah, but everywhere in the store, it all says fresh squeezed. None of it, like, you can't ever go to the store and buy orange juice and be like, this is not fresh squeezed. This is just some bullshit orange juice. Please buy this. I think that's what it is. I think Big Orange Juice is lying to me, and they've been lying to me for years.
Honey, come over. The party's gone slower, and no one will tempt you. We know you got sober. There's orange juice in the kitchen, bought for the children. It's yours if you want it. We're just glad you could visit. Feels like I've been ready for you to come home for so long that I didn't think to ask you where you'd gone. Why'd you go? And you said, and you said,
These songs are so sneaky.
you said my heart has changed and my soul has changed in my heart, that my face has changed and I haven't drank in 6 months on the dot. See the graves as you pass through from our crash back in 02. Not one nick on your finger. You just asked me to hold you, but it made you a stranger and filled you with anger. Now I'm third in the lineup to your Lord and your Savior. Feels like I've been ready for you to come home so long that I didn't think to ask you where you'd gone. So why'd you go? You said, you said, you said my heart has changed and my soul has changed in my heart, that my life has changed, that this town had changed. You had not. That the world has changed. Don't you find it strange that you just went ahead and carried on? And you know I'd say the last time I drank I was face down, passed out there in your lawn. And we all just close to you now. Are we all just pulling you down. You didn't put those bones in the ground. You didn't put those bones in the ground. Honey, come over. Party's gone slower, and no one will tempt you. We know you got sober. There's orange juice in the kitchen, bought for the children. It's yours if you want it. We're just glad you could visit.
Okay. That's pretty intense. Okay, so I'm not sure if he's talking about just this other person getting sober or if he also is dealing with it as well. Again, it has that sense of longing about just like wanting people to be a part of what's going on and what he's doing. I think he's talking about both of them getting sober. Was he involved in a car accident that people lost their lives from? The way he uses, I was going to ask about that. Hold on. What does the crow thing mean? The way he uses crows as symbolism for people, reminding you of death. Oh, okay. Also, a group of crows is called a murder. The other person got sober because of the car crash, but he's still stuck. All right. So drinking and driving in 02, they got in a car accident. Somebody died and he got sober because of it. We're just haunting you. Holy shit. It seems pretty personal, you know? Sometimes it's just talking about like places and how they're changing and where he fits in all of this. And then he just drops something like this on us. Basically a mirror for other people's mistakes. My life has changed, that this town has changed, and you have not. And we're all crows to you now. Are we all just pulling you down? You didn't put those bones in the ground. This song is compelling and complex. Yeah, I'm just trying to like kind of piece it all together because I was trying to figure out the angle as it was going on. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm getting it. Like, what is he trying to say here? Doesn't this guy seem sweet? I feel bad for him at times and everything, but he has like a certain natural sweetness about him. Like he's like, fine, whatever, come on over. The party will be slower. We're not going to tempt you. We've got orange juice in the kitchen. We're just glad you could visit. This song's always made me feel like he was trying to say, hey, I miss you. Come back to my life. Let your grief become my grief of you. Oh my God. Just come back home, friend. We can share this burden. I was going to talk about the melody and how the song evolved and everything and some like the atmosphere things that are happening, but like his lyrics just kind of take the picture for me. It's some great world building. It's great storytelling. It's very poetic. Maybe you were onto something about this male Taylor Swift thing. Let's keep on keeping on. Strawberry Wine.
Darling, speak to me.
Interesting English.
But don't you say a word. Light a cigarette, I'll watch it as it burns. Remember telling me that you thought you were cursed. I'm in love with every song you've ever heard. If I could lose you, I would. We buried your bones in plywood. If I could lose you, I would. We buried your bones in plywood. I said love is fast asleep on a dirt road with your head on my shoulder. Strawberry wine and all the time we used to have. Those things I miss, I know I'm never coming back. For you, darling. For you.
Can you let us know in chat what the song's about? Or a brief history of the backstory?
Finds a man like love that makes him soft and sentimental, like a stranger in the park. For a few moments I see you. If I was space and you were formless shape, we'd fit and every time we run straight over it. If I was empty space and you were a formless shape we fit, a lovely little runway, and every time I run straight over it.
No, he talks very deliberately about bones being in plywood. I doubt it's about cremation. Maybe I'm wrong. I've got a theory. Okay, I see you guys tell me what it's probably about in chat, but let me possibly embarrass myself first and give my 2 cents before we get the actual answers here. Speak to me, but don't say a word. I think he's talking to somebody that is passed. Light a cigarette, I'll watch it as it burns. Remember telling me that you thought you were cursed. I'm in love with every song that you've ever heard. So he's talking about somebody that he was infatuated with that has either died or is moved on without him. He could be using metaphors. He's done it with crows. He's done it with death. He's done it with a couple different things. So it might not be as final as death, but he does say, if I could lose you, I would. And he pluralizes it. He says, we buried your bones in plywood. If I could lose you, I would. So he wants to kind of lose this memory of this person. I think it's kind of like a bittersweet kind of thing. Love is fast asleep on a dirt road with your head on my shoulder. Strawberry wine and all the time we used to have. Those things I miss, but no, are never coming back. Yeah. So I think he's just like reminiscing here. This is totally reminiscing. No thing defines a man like love that makes him soft. Yeah, he's got those bars. And sentimental like a stranger in the park for a few months I see you. Maybe returning to the grave. One theme that I'm noticing through all of this is a lot of the world building is very hyper specific to very specific places and things and emotions and everything. So I think that's what this is too. I just don't know exactly what he's being hyper specific about. Let me read chat here. Strawberry wine started when I heard my granddad talk about cremating his father. They walked the ashes into town in Wyoming, up a big mountain where his dad always wanted to go. And I thought of that as a really incredible act of love. To me, love is being in a car looking up at the stars as you drive down a dirt road in Vermont and just the beauty of the moment. The cremation thing was something he said in an interview. Okay, yeah. And I guess Serena just gave a quote from that interview. So yeah, I guess you were right. I don't lie, unlike big orange juice. I like that.
So I took my medication and I poured my trauma out on some sad-eyed middle-aged man's overpriced new leather couch. And we argued about Jesus, finally found some middle ground, said I'm cured. And I divvied up my anger into 30 separate parts. Keep the bad shit in my liver and the rest around my heart. I'm still angry at my parents for what their parents did to them, but it's a start. But I ignore things and I move sideways until I forget what I felt in the first place. At the end of the day, 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll drive. I guess I'll drive. So I forgot my medication, fell into a manic high. Spent my savings at a Lulu, now I'm suffering in style. Why is pain so damn impatient? Ain't like it's got a place to be, keeps rushing me. But I ignore things and I move sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place. At the end of the day, I know there are worse ways to stay alive. 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll drive. And if all my life was wasted, I don't mind, I'll watch it go. Yeah, it's better to die numb than feel it all. Oh, if all my time was wasted, I don't mind, I'll watch it go. Yeah, it's better to die numb than feel it all. But I ignore things and I move sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place. At the end of the day, Lord knows there are worse ways to stay alive. 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll try. I guess I'll try.
Yeah, okay, so he's definitely on medication. When he's been talking about pills the past before, I don't think it's like a pill addiction. I think his issues with substance is marijuana and drinking, it sounds like. Maybe there's more to it or whatever. I divided my anger into 30 separate parts. He's compartmentalizing his anger. I keep that bad shit in my liver, the rest around my heart. Yeah, I saw that generational trauma thing. Yeah, I get it. I understand. He's angry at his parents, his grandparents, what they did to him. I ignore things and I move sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place. At the end of the day, there are worse ways to stay alive. I mean, yeah, I guess there is, but I mean, if he's drinking to the point where it's like really destroying his liver and everything, there are definitely healthier ways, and he does talk about that too. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Now that is interesting, especially when he's talking about substance abuse and people moving on and him trying to find himself. My engine works perfectly on empty, maybe possibly being what he considers functional. Yeah, because everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Yeah, okay. So what I'm getting from this is he's just numbing himself. And he even says it's okay to numb yourself, which I kind of don't agree with. And if all my life was wasted, I don't mind. I'll watch it go. Yeah, it's better to die numb than feel it all. I disagree with that. And I think he even knows it's not healthy, and that's why he's emphasizing other people growing and healthy and moving either up or down and him just skating sideways. I think he's just spending so much time coping with whatever is going on, being stuck, always feeling like you're moving sideways, watching the world around him kind of excel, which is a dangerous thing anyway. It's all fucking lies anyway. Everyone's just like chasing the same dream and putting their best foot forward and making themselves look as good as possible, you know, with like social media and shit. Like, look at this new house, look at this new dog, look at this new life, look at our lavish vacation, look at this, da 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 da. And like, it's all just like a new variation of like keeping up with the Joneses. And I think he's just in a fucking cycle. I think he's in a cycle of alcoholism, numbing his pain. Thing is like if you're in that lane for a long time, like you just start to get to a point where you're like, you don't know yourself. And that's why he's saying, I don't know if I've even ever met myself. I've just been knowing myself this entire time. You know, when we're in competition with people, we feel like we're just like, we're not doing as well as other people. We're not where we're supposed to be. We're falling behind. The truth is, none of us just like come out and say like the real shit, you know? And I get it. It can be trauma dumping. It can be like whatever, but like none of us just like come out and say it. Like nobody jumps on like Facebook and just is like, I had a shitty day at work. You know, I got bills are piling up. I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of the month. I got to do this and that. I got like 15 errands I got to run tomorrow. I don't know what to make for dinner. Like it's fucking fuck, you know? No, it's never that. It's never that. But that's what it always is. That's what's in our heads all the time. You know, that's the natural anxiety of what's happening in our world. Instead, it's just everything is a fucking show. And I think that's one of the reasons I appreciate this guy is because there's no show. It's just raw back. It's stripped down. It's just him feeling inadequate in certain areas that I think we all feel. And it's probably a reason why a lot of people resonate with this, because we're like, oh shit, this guy's saying what I feel. He's saying what I feel. Angry at the way his parents have hurt him because of the ways their parents hurt them and how it echoes through the generations in our behavior. It feels like listening to an old friend that actually cares. I think that's this guy's appeal, besides the fact that he's got a great voice and interesting storytelling. It feels sincere, which is not something I often stumble upon. Let's continue.
Sailing away to a place I'm afraid of. The dawn isn't here. The sun hasn't rose. I'm drinking my days with the coastal longshoremen. They got money to make and children back home. And the last that I heard, you were down in New Orleans, working the days at the print. I drink till I drown and I smoke till I'm burning. Your hands are all over my scent. I worry for you, you worry for me, and it's fine if we know we won't change. Collect every dream in these old empty pockets and hope that I'll need them someday. But the wreckage of you I no longer reside in, and the bridges have long since been burned. The ash of the home that I started the fire in starts to return to the earth. I'm leaving this town and I'm changing my address. I know that you'll come if you want. It's not Halloween, but the ghost you dressed up as sure knows how to haunt. Yes, it knows how to haunt. It's an ode to the hole that I found myself stuck in, a song for the grave that I dug. There's a murder of crows in the low light off Boston, and I see your face in each one. I'm losing myself in the tiniest objects. I'm seeing my life on a screen. I'm hearing your voice in a strange foreign language. If only I learned how to speak. But the wreckage of you I no longer reside in. The bridges have long since been burned. In the ash of the home that I started the fire, and it starts to return to the earth. I'm leaving this town and I'm changing my address. I know that you'll come if you want. It's not Halloween, but the ghost you dressed up as you knows how to haunt. Yeah, you know how to haunt. You fear that I'm wicked and weary. I know that you fear in the end But I only tell the truth when I'm sure that I'm lying. So I'm setting sail once again.
Okay, some crazy production on that one, huh? Yeah, I saw that. We got stringed instruments, bells, the choir. There's been choir used in this before, too. I think it's just a variation of his own voice on that one. I don't know. Maybe there was somebody else in the track. But yeah, kind of nice little rich baritone that was coming through. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But he's done that before in a few other songs that I forgot to point out, which was really cool, too. It was very haunting. A lot of this is very haunting. I think he's talking about a loss of somebody, a loss of a partner, and moving on from it. I just love the lyric, the wreckage of you I no longer reside in. The bridges have long since been burnt, and the ash of the home that I started the fire in starts to return to the earth. Feels like love to you. Yeah, I was kind of getting that too. I think he's talking about a past love, and again, numbing himself. This is such a good example of how you feel when a long-distance relationship doesn't work out, but you're trying to move on in a way, even when everything and everyone reminds you of this part of your life. Yeah, so the loss of his life went out to New Orleans, and still, even this small town that he's trapped in, or feels trapped in, things are still reminding him of her. Okay. This is the start of him trying to leave. That's what I was trying to get at. I think when he's referring to the house and the starting of the fire, he's meaning he burnt down the life that they built together. I feel like this is a turning point in the album where he's finally just tired and starting to move on. Well, you know, the sad part about what I've seen from this guy and like the general emotion that this album is sharing is like him kind of feeling like he's not enough. You know what I mean? Like him being abandoned and feeling like begging people to be a part, you know, or be with him or whatever in isolation and everything. And him willing to say like, I'll just change whatever it takes or do whatever it takes for you to be with me. And I guess we're seeing a shift here. It's kind of cool because it's fairly linear. It's really truly like, it feels like it's like almost autobiographical about like his life and his shifting and changing perspectives of where he is in this town, in this life, and in his mental state. All his songs feel haunted, maybe haunted by his past, his ex-lovers, or even by himself. I think he's just telling the story of him. I think this is just a story of Noah. It's kind of like a movie. I feel like he's referencing sixth season here too. Instead of coming back to him, kept driving down and moved on with her life. There's no like real resolution to a lot of this stuff, you know, and that's some of my favorite stuff when there's no real resolution. It's just talking about life. And that's why I feel like you're in this world and it's kind of like watching a movie, but it doesn't tie up like in act 1, act 2, act 3. And, you know, the conclusion, it's not like that. It's the biography of him. He said it was such a vulnerable album because it's the complete autobiographical story of his life. Oh, all right, there it is. Okay, so 100% what it is. And in that aspect, it's coming across like in a linear way. Like this is what I was dealing with as a child. This is how I felt, and I'm moving on and still being in this place. And even like singing the songs when he's in those stages of his life from the perspective of that person. And I think that's what really captures the emotion of this song. It's not like him coming back and just like reminiscing of it. Like he puts himself in that place. When he was singing about from the perspective of a child, it sounded like it was coming from a child. That sounded like the thoughts of a child, just in a poetic way. His perspective on things is shifting. He still has those same lingering demons. He still has that generational trauma. He still has all the things that are going to stay with him for the rest of his life. He's just learning how to carry that baggage.
2 months since you got back, how have you been? And are you bored yet? The weather ain't been bad if you're into masochistic bullshit. And every photograph that's taken here is from the summer. Some guy won Olympic gold 8 years ago, a distance runner. And that makes a lot of sense. This place is such great motivation for anyone trying to move the fuck away from hibernation.
Well, that's different. It's groovy.
Well, I'm tired of dirt roads named after high school friends, grandfathers, and motherfuckers here still don't know they caught the Boston bombers.
What?
Time moves so damn slow, I swear I feel my organs failing. I stopped caring about a month ago, since then it's been smooth sailing. I would leave if only I could find a reason. I mean, because I grew up in New England. I got dreams, but I can't make myself believe. will die in the house that I grew up in. I'm homesick. I'm homesick. I'm homesick.
Hell yeah, homesick. I fucking love that one. And it made me proud. A couple years back, I was talking to my wife about just like, we could probably just move anywhere. We could probably, you know, I can just work from home, do my thing. And, you know, we could probably go anywhere. Where would you want to go? People have always told me like, Jim, you probably fit in California. You probably should go out there. Not really my vibe. Maybe like Washington State, maybe, but like not my thing. Like, I don't know. When push comes to shoves, like basically what we're getting at is like, we love New England. We love this area. We love the seasons. We love the change, the good and the bad. You take it with stride. It's like, this is your home. And I think I would leave if only I could find a reason. He's going to die in the house that he grew up in. Like there's something like embedded in you with home. It's a love-hate relationship with home, but I think it leans more towards love. It's never remember how you remember it. Miss the way you remember it from your childhood, but that's never the reality of it. Yeah, exactly. It's like if you've ever like moved out of your childhood home to another home and you drive back to that childhood home, it almost like doesn't look or feel anything like the home that you grew up in. Like the home that I grew up in, my parents moved out of that just to a different house in the town. Every once in a while I drive by it. I haven't been by there in years, but the house that I grew up in, I'm like, it just doesn't have the same energy. It just doesn't feel like the same thing. It's still the same color, still the same basic, you know, yard and everything like that, but it feels different. The world is just different when you're a child. You see things differently. And nostalgia is a hell of a drug, man. you think it's one thing and it's just really not. I don't think I'll ever leave this area. I'm a homebody anyway. I love New England. I love the snow. Everybody here bitches about it. Like, oh no, it's snowing again. And I'm like, that's why we're here. We're here for the fucking snow. All right. There's equators for a reason. Go down there. I don't know. There's a quiet beauty in home. Yeah, that was an awesome song. I've got no options. Snow in the whole country. Well, you're in Canada. I'd move to Canada in a heartbeat too. I've been to Canada a couple times, mostly to party, but always been fun. You guys get the best side of like Niagara Falls too. We got the short end of the stick. Like, I remember going to Niagara Falls for the first time. And like looking at it from my side, I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And then I saw it from the Canadian side, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? That's a trade deal we should be working on. Still.
I don't wanna say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. It only falls into place when you fall into pieces. You find love that lasts a while till you lose the reason, saying, God, I'm alive. The whole place is quiet, and there's something that you can't place, but you can't deny it. Don't know whether you want a place in the coast of the country. You can't stay here, it's hard to face, and it feels too ugly. Light a fire inside yourself, let it burn. Stare up at a starless sky, and you say, it's like I'm still here with you. It's like I'm still here with you. I don't wanna say goodbye. Past coming back with the light in the morning. Look down on myself like a patient in surgery, and I used to watch my mother move like God was in the room. It's a bottomless hole I found out here with a trace of no one. With a past box of photos, I ripped myself open. I'm in bed and I'm wondering if I'm callous but hoping. Can I fix what is broken? It's like I'm still here with you. It's like I'm still here with you. I don't wanna say goodbye.
But he knows he has to.
It's like I'm still here with you. It's like I'm still here with you. I don't wanna say goodbye. It's like I'm still here with you. It's like I'm still here with you. I don't wanna say goodbye. I don't wanna say. I don't wanna say. I don't wanna say goodbye. I don't wanna say. I don't wanna say. I don't wanna say goodbye. It only
Everything is
falls
so
in places
unexpected.
that fall in pieces. You find love that lasts a while, and you lose the reason. You say, God, I'm alive, but the whole place is quiet. You miss something that you can't place, but you can't deny it.
Yeah, he's like trying to let go, and you think he knows how to. He's trying to like move on to like a different phase in his life. I think that's what you're talking about. This is a different phase in the album where he's starting to let things go, see things from a different point of view, a different sort of clarity in his life. He doesn't want to. I think he just knows that he has to. Sonically, this album's been kind of surprising, honestly. I've been surprised a couple times. This guy is not afraid to throw a wrench in the machine. It's absolutely about him moving and leaving his home. I wonder where he is now. Because at this point, he's successful. He's had this album that's been out for a while now. I think he's doing good things. I wonder where he's living now. Be kind of cool if he was still out in Vermont, you know, if he was just still living in that house. He's been teasing new music too, really. This song is by far the most vulnerable, in my opinion. Him explaining how he feels and the details he uses to explain himself. Grab a past box of photos. I ripped myself open, looking down on myself like a patient in surgery. Light a fire inside yourself, let it burn. Saying, God, I'm alive, but the whole place is quiet. Only falls into place when you're falling into pieces. And wondering what he has to hold on to, what he doesn't have to hold on to, what he has to move on from, what he doesn't want to move on from, what he wants to take with him. What are his first two albums like? Are they kind of like this? Are they still honest? Are they still vulnerable? Does it still feel sincere? And I wonder where he's going to go from here from his new stuff. We got one more song left. I want to see how it all ties together. Like I said, the most important songs in the album are the first and the last one. So vulnerable and honest, but different sonically. They're more pop, honestly. What, really? I'm just trying to picture like Noah Kahan in his bedroom with like a drum machine, putting some flange and auto-tune in his voice, mumble rapping. All right, let's check out the last song. How does it all tie together? How does this album come to a climax? What is the great crescendo of Stick Season?
Air in my lungs till the road begins. As the last of the bugs leave their homes again, and I'm split in the road down the middle. For a minute the world seems so simple. Feel the rush of my blood, I'm 17 again. I am not scared of death, I've got dreams again. It's just me in the curve of the valley, and there is meaning on earth. I am happy. Past Algebrook Road, I'm over the bridge. I'm everything's still.
And it just kind of fades out like a ghost. I'm not sure what those sounds are. There's a touch of organ, but some sort of like panning happening in your ear. A minute from home, but I feel so far from it. It hits me so hard every time. I live down the road from my childhood home that my mom lived in until she died a couple years ago. My whole life was there and I can never go back. It's my favorite lyric of the whole album. Well, first off, Serena, I'm so sorry. I can definitely see why that would hit you. And it's just right down the road too. There's like good and bad vibes to this. He's excited. He feels like a kid again. He has dreams again. He's moving on. I think for the longest time, he's been afraid to leave. He's been afraid to leave the comfort of what he's almost referred to as a trap this entire album. But from here, it's like taking the first step away from that place. Grasping for air after being underwater, I really would recommend listening to the extended version of The View Between Villages immediately following this one. Even though it's on the deluxe. All right, let's listen to this real quick.
Air in my lungs till the road begins. As the last of the bugs leave their homes again. And I'm split in the road down the middle. For a minute the world seems so simple.
Maybe we can do the bonus songs this Saturday.
Feel the rush of my blood. I'm 17 again. I am not scared of death. I've got dreams again.
Really? The best ones?
It's just me in the curve of the valley. And there is meaning on earth. I am happy. Past Algebrook Road, I'm over the bridge. A minute from home, but I feel so far from it. The depth of my dog, the stretch of my skin, it's all washing over me. I'm angry again. The things that I lost here, the people I knew, they got me surrounded for a mile or two. The car's in reverse, I'm gripping the wheel. I'm back between villages and everything's still.
So then as this fades out, we got more lyrics.
Well, for me personally, I found the town big enough for anything that I want. I mean, I'm not a city girl by any means.
Trafford still has a lot of meaning to me because I grew up there. Well, I guess it's a small community of people that really look out for each other. And that's the same way with anybody that needs anything. It's this community is there to help.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Things that I'm back between villages and everything still.
Oh my God. Good suggestion. I mean, I liked the regular version. I thought it was a really nice way to tie up the album and it felt complete. I felt like he actually stick the landing on it. But this one is just so much more dramatic and has more energy to it and like it just breathes more life into it. Yeah, I like this one better actually. Yeah. You said the production's different. It felt like things kind of hit a little bit harder for the same parts if I had to guess. You know, there was a little bit more intensity to it. Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, this one definitely would have been the perfect album conclusion, but yeah, this was awesome. So that is the story. That is the tale. That is the lore of Noah Kahan. It feels like I just kind of experienced this guy's life story. And I guess we don't know where he's going from here. I guess that'll be his next project. But where we left off was him deciding what baggage to keep, what to take with him, and what to move on from. And he's excited and nervous and sad and a lot of things. He's conflicted for sure. He's conflicted. But what comes next should be interesting. Let's talk about the album as a whole, Sixth Season. I like that it was fairly linear for the entirety of the album. It felt like opening up a book and reading through the different phases of his life and how he approached different things and how he felt at different points in his life about the same set, the same area, which was this town, you know, these cars, this house, you know, these roads that are all very familiar to him. That stayed the same. The only thing that was different for the most part was just him growing and seeing small little changes, targets popping up and, you know, things becoming a little bit more industrialized. But it was interesting because it felt sincere. It felt like I was watching a person standing still as everything was kind of changing and moving around him and him trying to cope with that and him trying to understand what is happening, where he wants to be, and essentially like having dreams and having his own way of experiencing things without being numb. And I feel like this album highlighted a lot of those themes. It truly felt like a movie. It felt like going through an entire movie. And it's just his angle of how he's navigated. And it's not glamorous and it's not over the top. And there isn't a crazy story arc or anything. It's just life. It's just the reality of reality, the emotions and the feelings and the stress and the highs and lows that go with it. And I feel like Sixth Season perfectly encompasses all of that in nostalgic charm, in a way that feels both hyper specific to my experience, but also hyper specific to his experience. You know, I think it's all pretty relatable. Even if you're not even from this area, there's even like what Serena said and everything, like there's sometimes you get hit with some of these lines and it just kind of like makes you stop and think. And that's something that should be celebrated with music. I don't get that enough where I hear a line and it just kind of like makes me go, whoa, hold on a second. You just unlocked something in my brain. I need to like fucking think about this for a second. Think about what he's saying, how it makes me feel. And then at the same time, like how it actually comes together and whether it fits with the narrative of the story or if it's just like, you know, you're shotgun blasting out theories at me. This in the essence of that felt controlled. A little less like a shotgun blast. Just do the extended versions right now. No, my head is still fried from this and I want to listen to this album one more time on my own before I go into the extended versions before just jumping right in. But Noah Kahan is a interesting character and I'm excited to see where his journey takes us. Supposedly he's got new music on the way, but guys, I think that is going to do it for me here today. You guys, you've been wonderful. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for insights. And I'll be back Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. Bye, everybody.